Alright, this is going to be a short video on how to interface to objects on the screen. You can see that I've dropped a group of objects on the screen. In the debugger, we'll take a look at how we can interface to those script objects and what you can do with them. First of all, in order to get a hold of one of these objects, you have to create a variable for it. And you can just make up variable names because of the self-typing, as we've said before. So let's just say myDRO is equal to, and here we go with the keyword DRO, and you can see it lights up on the screen as we take it. And it's also printed in bold blue to show that it is a control word. Now, to tell it which DRO, you can either type in the information or you can press your Shift button, point at the DRO, and right-click your mouse. And you can see up here the information needed is filled in. Add a semicolon and you've created a variable for that DRO. Now, if you want to set a value to a DRO, you use that variable, myDRO in this case, and add a dot, and you'll come up with commands. In this case, for DRO, the most valuable command would be to set its value or to get its value. In this case, we can simply say set value 1.45, for example. If we hit run, you can see it just changed to a 1.45. Or we could go with a draw color. And draw color sets two colors, the name of the primary digit and the name of the decimals. That only works in 16 segment, otherwise the first number is taken as the color. Now you can enter this as a hex number starting 0x, and now you got 3 sets of bytes for color, and it goes blue, red, green at the moment. So we could say that we want a component of maximum component of blue, red, and no green at all. And then for the secondary component, we'll go with no blue, full red, full green. We should have 0x in front of this one to indicate it's a hex number. And now if we run it, you can see that the colors of the DROs have changed to reflect the colors. Now, in order to get the value of DRO, you could just say myval is equal to myDRO dot get value. And then print myval to make sure that it is getting the value. And if we run this, nothing changes on the screen because we haven't really changed anything up there, but it did print 1.45 at the bottom, so it is getting values. When it comes to buttons, we could do the same thing with a button. I'll just add we'll call it myButton is equal to, and with buttons you type the word button, and again Shift right click the button to get the variable. And now you could set the text on that, for example, myBut dot set text, and enter whatever text you like. Test. With the buttons you can set a state as well, so you could press a button by setting the state to a 1. And now you can see it's named test and it's on as if the user had pushed it. When it comes to devices which have a variable assigned to it, here you can see I have an array of LEDs. Now if we try to attach to that object, we would be better off just by sending to its variable name. If I right click, you can see it tells me the name of the interface is main LED 0, but it has a variable attached called LEDs array. So we could send to that variable to influence an array of LEDs. And whenever you have an array of LEDs, they're bit mapped. So the maximum you can have is 32. So let's add a routine for LEDs. Here you can see I've gotten the LEDs to show you how an interface would get the secondary interface to the LEDs. You could still, with LEDs, set the value and do the same thing I'm about to do by using global set. And I've just written this short routine to show you. Here we have a maximum random number, which is 2 to the 16th. I've noticed Monkey Script isn't very good at selecting random numbers above 16-bit. So I've told it, give me the number of 2 to the 16th, and I ask for a random number between 0 and that number. I shift it to the left 16 times, and then add another random number, 16-bit, giving us basically a 32-bit random number. I then use the global set to set the value of this random number into the variable LEDs array. So this would be the same thing as setting a myDRO.setValue only in this case we're setting it to a variable, because you could have several panels all with the same variable name, and they would all reflect the change that we do with this global set. So let's change this number up top here a little bit. Let's change the text here to another word, and let's see how it all works. And there you can see the LED panel is flashing random numbers, random patterns of LEDs. It sleeps a quarter second each time, and I have it printing the random number so that we can see what number was generated. I think if you take a look at these items and the functions that show up on the auto text, you'll find it's fairly easy to control these interfaces, any interface on the screen, with simple things like get value, set value, and if you have globals, global set or global get.